My childhood growing up in Karachi. I would say it was amazing, crazy, but also scary at the same time.
You said your dad wasn't in the country. Could you touch on that a little bit?
He was involved in Pakistan politics. He started having problems and enemies. It got really dangerous for him to live in the country to the point that he had to leave the country, otherwise he wouldn't be alive.
What was your experience like in the refugee hostel?
In the refugee hostel, it was so difficult, Wali. They literally gave us one room, family of 5, and you have to live in one room. It was so difficult.
What did you learn from the experience?
I realized that
I wanted to ask you what got you into content creation.
what got me into content creation.
Was that scary? Put yourself out there initially.
Initially, it was really scary, Khushal, because there were people who made fun of me. My education was a mix-up. One funny thing, if I was doing matric, my parents would have used the same books that I would be using now. So the books are not updated. Because I'm the eldest child, I think they use me as an experiment. Like all the eldest child, they used to beat me up. Like if I don't do well in study, they actually used to beat me up.
Would you not marry a white person?
Okay, there's this white guy, he has a crush on me and he was like, I would actually convert to Islam for me. He's a nice guy.
Forget
And
God, don't do it for you.
he's a nice guy.
So I'm currently listening to this book called How to Not Die Alone. And he talks about the 3 tendencies we have. One is a maximizer, one is a hesitator, and one's a romanticizer.
Which one am I? Can I just say, the person with third tendency is definitely going to die alone.
How would you want to be remembered?
Such a good question.
In today's podcast, we spoke to Nabeeha Khan, a very good friend of ours who's aspiring to be a doctor currently studying medicine. She tells us about the education system in Pakistan compared to the Western education system and what the difference was and what her experience was like. She gets very personal about the trouble she faced when she moved to the UK and the culture shock she experienced. In our conversation, we dive deep into her story and we learn about many challenges that immigrants face. We hope you find this conversation as fun and insightful as we did. Thank you so much for watching. I wanted to ask you what got you into content creation.
What got me into content creation? I think when I was 10, I've always liked public speaking, just being in front of camera. My whole life, I've just loved camera. When I was small, I used to watch these Indian TV series, Bollywood movies. I always wanted to just be an actress, do things, talk to people, or present. I always wanted to be a presenter, but obviously I couldn't be. But my dad, he knew that I'm obsessed with cameras, so he started making YouTube videos of me, like mini vlogs. In front of Kingdom Tower in Riyadh, just talking about where I am, who am I with, what am I doing. So I kind of got used to it. And when I grew up, obviously my cricket video in Pakistan went viral. So before that, I always used to try to make content on YouTube, but it wasn't going well. But once my video went viral, I think God knew that I wanted that, so he kind of laid the foundation for me. And then I was like, okay, now I'm gonna create content. And I didn't think, what am I gonna talk about? I just decided I'll put myself out there and be myself. Share my life, share my thoughts, and just be myself.
Was that scary? Just put yourself out there initially?
Initially, it was really scary, Khushal, because there were people who made fun of me before I had followers. Obviously, right now, I wouldn't say I'm at the stage where I want to be, but it's much better than before. But when I started, I didn't have a lot of followers. I didn't used to get a lot of views, but I still used to create content. I didn't used to give up. But there were people, girls in my school in Birmingham, who used to make fun of me for making YouTube videos and that, because they thought it's funny, someone is out there trying to do something new. So it was really scary. I used to get scared, I used to get nervous, but I still didn't. I was even though they're making fun of me, I'm not going to give up. I'm still going to make videos because this is what I want to do, this is what I like to do, and I'll still keep going. So.
And did they change their attitude once her video went viral? They were okay, she's onto something.
So the video went viral after I left the school, when I was in sixth form. But when I was in school, doing my GCSEs, the videos weren't going viral. They were just the videos. I was just trying to come up with new ideas, spend hours editing the videos, and then those girls, they were commenting on my videos and still talking about my videos, laughing at the videos. So nothing
But
happened
they
that
being
time.
mean publicly.
They were being mean publicly.
Publicly.
Yes, and it actually gave me anxiety. Obviously, I was better at hiding it. I didn't show it, but it actually gave me anxiety.
So it's not even like in group chats, bro. Girls can be
Girls are so
much
scary. Girls, you know
Yeah.
what? Girls can be your worst enemy. Like, I think with boys, if they have beef, right? You know you're not going to talk to them. But girls, they would be sweet to your face, but then they will also be mean. Like, it's so confusing. Girls are scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone can be scary though, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that to be fair, yeah.
True.
But
Some men can be very unhinged. So can women as well, but like it is a scary place out there. So how come now you've not been making as much content? What's going on, Nabeeha?
Okay, so now, alhamdulillah, I have a platform. I can make content. I've got my script books ready. I've got my room lightings, everything ready. It's just I can't have discipline in my life, really. Like, being a medical student has actually taken over my life. Like, I'm struggling so much with balancing my life. Like, my life in Dundee literally revolves around uni. I wake up, go to my 9 a.m. lectures, 9 till 4 uni, 4 to 10 library, boom. Back home, same thing. And then on weekend, I work, and then one day I give myself to relax. So I don't get time for my content. But I think I'll have to force myself to, like, take some hours out to make a little bit of content, because otherwise what am I going to do? Like, I can't wait for medical school to finish and then create content. That's too long. I can't wait that long. I don't even know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow, so it's better for me to make most of it. So
Yeah, but so you said 4 till 10 you're in the library. What percentage of that time are you being productive?
be
That
honest. Don't
that
sugarcoat.
is such
The
a
David Beckham one. Be honest.
Be honest.
that is such a good question. I think lots of people in uni have asked me that question, like in people in senior years. I would say it's 30% productivity. But what can I do?
Why 30%?
Because, okay, I'm with my friends and I have this urge to always talk. Like, I like constant entertainment in my life. So if I'm just sitting there getting work done, I'll get bored, and I need like someone to talk to, or entertainment or something. Like, and there's always like there's so much drama in my uni, which is weird. Like, there's always something going on. And personally, it might look like that I like drama, but I don't like drama. I like peace. But even though I don't want to involve myself in drama, like my friends or someone is associated with something, and then just like there's always something to talk about, something going on. I don't know, so I can't like always study. And if I go to silent study, just put my head down and study, something always happens, or I just get bored, or I get sleepy, I get tired. But if I go home, I've got my bed. I love my bed. Like, the tension between me and my bed is crazy. So like I'll just sleep. So I don't know like what to do. It's mad.
I've got a good prescription. How about 1 to 2 hours of that time you dedicate to content creation every day?
That is a good idea, Wali.
And you can even do it with your friends, maybe get them involved.
We are planning something. One of my friends, we're thinking to do like medical student content. Yeah, we were thinking to keep it quiet, but it's okay. Like, they don't know which friend is that.
Exclusive for you guys.
Yeah, like, like in uni, like quickly suddenly release content. But we've got studio in our uni for like content creation, cameras, lights, everything. So I just need to make time and like get on cracking with that.
Are you still involved with societies and stuff?
Yes, I'm still part of the University of Dundee Islamic Society, and I'm also the content creator for the university, which I get paid for, which is good.
Wow.
So that's
Mashallah.
fun. So I create content for uni. Sometimes it's on like university's page, which is nice.
That is quite cool. So that was a bit of what you're doing now, but can you tell us a bit about your childhood growing up in Karachi? What was that like?
My childhood growing up in Karachi, I would say it was amazing, crazy, but also scary at the same time.
I feel like
It was
that's
like a
what
mixed-
everyone thinks Karachi is from the
Yeah.
outside as well.
It was like a mix of things. Like, obviously, I have friends for life in Karachi. I was born and raised in Karachi. This is where my roots are. Like, this is my city. They say it's known as City of Lights, but there's no light in Karachi.
It's load shedding.
Load shedding, always load shedding. Like, big generators or this and that, like noises, pollution. But I would say, because I'm from Karachi, I still love Karachi. I don't care if there's pollution. I don't care if there are dogs barking at me on the streets. I still like that because it's my city. But my childhood, it was really nice. Like, I used to live in a joint family. Now I live with like just okay. Now I live by myself as a uni student, but like I used to live with my parents. But before that, in Karachi, I used to live with like my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, big family, big house. Sometimes family drama, sometimes like fighting with the cousins, getting into fights. And I was such a like bad child. Like I always used to like get into fights in school and that, which is so bad. But it was fun in Karachi. I used to get beaten up though. I personally think, like Asian parents, because I'm the elder child, I think they use me as an experiment. I'm not even joking, Wali. Okay,
Victim.
no offense to my parents. I'm not reporting my parents. Like, I love my parents, But I think they were learning as well. It was their first time being parents. But still, like, I don't know if I forgive them. My dad was so strict about studies, and my aunt was so strict about studies as well. But they used to actually, like, not just me, like, everyone used to get beaten up. Like, all the eldest child, they used to beat me up. Like, if I don't do well in study, they actually used to beat me up.
Really?
With a stick.
With a stick, or with like a chapel, with like a slipper.
How severe was the beating though? Was it like, was there bruises at the end of it, or?
Sometimes bruises, sometimes not. Like, it's not. I'm not saying my parents tortured me. It's normal in like Pakistan.
My mom would literally launch a slipper, and just as I'm about
Perfect aim.
and just as I'm about to go around the corner to avoid it, and it would hit me, and I would then start crying. I will never forget that. She never missed.
And there was competition. Okay, I've noticed that in Pakistani families, there's like that competitive mindset. Like, you have to do better than your cousins. You have to do better than everyone in your in your family or in your relatives. So I always used to get like second position somehow. And my cousin, who was born 1 month after me, she always used to get third position. We used to go to the same school since till we were like in year 3. We used to go to the same school, right? So I once got third position, and she got second, and I was beaten up that how dare you got like third position. And if I didn't used to study, they used to beat me up. That was so bad. But
toxic.
I think that was my aunt. Like, she used to beat me up because my dad left the country and started living in abroad, and my mom wasn't that educated, so my aunt like took responsibility of my studies. Like, I studied well. I think I'm well educated, hopefully. But at that time, she actually used to beat me up to make me study. So that was crazy. And it was in schools. Till year 3, the school I used to go to, they didn't care. They actually used to beat you up. Like, if you didn't do your homework, if you're late to the class, they used to be like, and they used to call, okay, because I really like trying on different hairstyles going to school. I was a little kid, Who am I trying to impress at that age?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not, but still. They used to be like, my teachers used to be like, are you coming to school or are you coming to fashion show? They always used to say that. And to lots of different girls as well. They used to be like, you have to have a certain hairstyle. And if you're finishing your homework late, they used to beat your hands up. Like, they used to be like, okay, show me your hand. And they used to like...
Yeah.
They
That
used
is
to
really
hurt.
weird.
I've had
It's
those
bad.
as well.
Same. The hair thing is really weird, but do you think you've got any trauma from any of those beatings, especially the ones from your family?
No, because we become so stubborn, resistant to it. It's so normal. You don't have trauma.
Yeah.
So I don't...
Would you beat your kids in the future?
No, I won't. And my parents, okay, I'm not saying they should beat my little siblings because I love my siblings, but that's just so unfair. You experimented on me. You used to beat me up, and they never even slapped my sister or my brother.
That's the younger sibling privilege.
What?
It's the same. I'm the younger sibling, so I got that privilege, luckily. You said your dad wasn't in the country. Could you touch on that a little bit?
He was involved in Pakistan's politics, and he started having problems and enemies. I won't go into too much detail about that, but it got really dangerous for him to live in the country, and to the point that he had to leave the country, otherwise he wouldn't be alive, basically. And it was really sad for me because it was really difficult. And I've heard from my parents and my grandparents that before I was born, my dad got shot, and then I think his leg broke, and he's put together now, which is fine. But it was quite difficult for my family. But obviously, he had to leave country at some point because it became so difficult for him. And he left Pakistan around, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago or 12. I don't even know how long. And he hasn't been back since.
Wow.
So he started working in Dubai, Qatar, all the Gulf countries. But he has not been to Pakistan. And he cannot. When my granddad died, my dad couldn't come to Pakistan because of how dangerous it is for him to go to Pakistan. So he couldn't even see his face like the last time. So that was really sad.
That is really unfortunate. So is Karachi really as dangerous as people say it is?
For my dad, yes. And normally, yes. Okay. The thing is, I think I've been lucky that I was never robbed. But I think it's dangerous because you have like shootings locally. You hear about people getting robbed. You hear about people getting killed. You hear about traumatic incidents, events that happens in Karachi. So I think it is dangerous. Like I can't walk alone, even during the day in Karachi in certain areas because I would be, I don't know, catcalled or I could be robbed. So it is pretty scary. Actually, something happened to me. I forgot. When I used to go to tuition, I think I was like 14 and I was going to tuition with my little sister during the daytime after school. And then there were these guys, they just stopped their bike in front of us.
Oh my God.
And then they started whistling and they started to stare at me and my little sister. And then I got so scared because I didn't know like what to do in that situation. And then I think I got really scared and they realized that she's like just a little girl and I don't know. They started laughing and then they just left. And I got really scared and traumatized by that because I was like, what if happens again? What if they end up doing something to me? So that was really scary. So this is nothing compared to what actually happens in Karachi. Karachi is a lovely city if you are safe, if you're with your family, if you're not going anywhere all by yourself. But it can be risky. You never know what happens in Karachi. Anything can happen in Karachi. But I think I'm just used to living in Karachi. So I think that's why Birmingham or any other city does not scare me because if I can survive in Karachi, I can survive anywhere else in the world.
That's a good attitude to have, to be fair. Yeah. And then what was the rest of your education like in Pakistan?
My education was a mix-up because in Pakistan there are different education boards, education systems. So there is like private schools. They do O-levels, so it's like Cambridge International Education System. And then there's Pakistan's national education system called matriculation. And then there's another education board called Aga Khan board. So like we have GCSEs in England. They have like matric, O-levels and certain things. So it's like a variety. So there's not like one consistent education system. So if you've got more money, you can go for O-levels. If you don't have money, then you'll have to go for matric education system. And then if you're like somewhere in between, you can go for Aga Khan board. But obviously the O-level education system was really good. You were like understanding what you were studying. There's this method called Rattafication. It's called Ratta, means you just learn everything without understanding. Yeah. So in matric system, that's what they do. They just learn everything. Like in biology textbooks, they've got like Quranic quotes to learn. I'm not saying they shouldn't learn religion, but it's biology. Like right. I think it's important to learn science first. Not just Quranic quotes, but they had like history. They had to learn history of like some scientists, like some not history of evolution, but like some scientist's biography in biology. Where is that going to take you in life? Nowhere. Like.
And you're actually right about the Quranic verses thing as well. Like my dad had a book where if one atom's combined with another and then with the will of God, then...
Oh, mashallah, that's quite...
And one funny thing, if I was doing matric, my parents would have used the same books that I would be using now. So the books are not updated. Really? They've been running through generations. The knowledge in the matriculation system of the normal Pakistani board is not updated. It's the same knowledge running through our generation. World could go there like anywhere, but that knowledge would not be updated. It will stay same, so which is crazy.
Objective as it gets, never to be changed.
So it's crazy. But the O-level system is really good. Like you understand, you learn. It's like GCSEs. I think it's even better than GCSEs personally.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think the content, okay, I think the way you tested GCSE, it's the same, but sometimes the questions in O-level exam paper are more difficult. I think the content is more deeper. I yeah, like it's and the what I've realized that the Pakistani kids are actually really hardworking. It doesn't matter if they're in O-level system or matriculation system. Everyone has got their like that family pressure, that Asian parents pressure that you have to get like 90%, 80%. So everyone in country, like most people end up getting 90%, 80%. But still, like there's like so much competition. So if those kids come here and do GCSEs, they will finish like the UK kids.
That's why everyone's like, oh, why are all the Asian kids really smart and stuff? They're not like naturally smarter. They just tend to work harder because of the culture.
It's the norm for them to work hard. For example, my little brother, I think he's in I think when he was in year 3, I forgot what year he is, and I'm such a bad sister. I think he's in year 5 now. But since he was in year 3, my dad started giving getting him tuitions for grammar school, 11 plus tests. I was like, Papa, what is the need of that? Like, I don't think it's that deep if he gets into grammar school. But Papa was like, it's better for me to try. So like, I know I've spent my money well on his education from now on, because obviously if he was in Pakistan he would send him to a private school, but right now what can he do? He was thinking, what can I do? And then he was in year 3, but my dad started buying him books for year 4 and 5. So my brother, he's really smart at maths now. He's really smart at English and science compared to other kids in his class, which is crazy. But like, he works really hard, poor guy. Like, he's writing, studying, this, that. But obviously, and like, I don't know, I think he's more busy than me. He's got this packed week. He's got his swimming, he's got his karate, he's got his studies, he's got his playtime, he's got his reading time.
What a guy.
Man's
He's
just-
gonna be someone in the future. We need to sign him up.
100%. He's on it.
Yeah, we need to sign him up for the podcast.
He's gonna
Early
be
scouting.
the leader. He was going to be leading the generation alpha, they call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and-
no, my little cousin was like preparing for a grammar school exam as well, that 11 plus thing. And it's crazy, man, that kids that young have to put themselves through so much pressure to
yes.
pass these exams. But then when he did pass it, he was like so gassed. He was like, oh my God, I actually did it. Because it gave him like a sort of confidence that, oh wait, I can actually do this, which was really nice. But I don't like the pressure that is put on them.
Especially the comparison that happens, especially in Pakistan, right? Like how, like, even if your kid does well, because next Jamal has done better.
Next Jamal.
And then look, Jamal got higher than you. And then like there's a very high suicide rate among students in Pakistan because of this, because of like the crazy pressure that parents put on their kids. And it's very unfortunate that the whole aim of education is just to understand yourself better, understand the world better. But then if you are coming short in achieving these sets of letters, then your whole worth and existence is defined by that.
Yeah.
And also you're so like they force you to either be doctor, lawyer, or engineer, right? And if you go out of the traditional path, then a lot of people view you as a failure. So I wanted to ask, did you have that pressure from your parents that, oh, you need to become a doctor?
They didn't say you need to become a doctor, but they were like, you have to like be somewhere between, like something from like engineer, doctor, dentist, or a lawyer. So exactly, I agree with that. Papa, I'm sorry, but you have to agree with that. That's what they did, yeah. But
it's the position thing that Nabeeha mentioned as well. Like, a kid could get 97%, but because the other guy got 98%, and he didn't come first, he's gonna get beatings at home.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
to be honest, can I say I personally don't blame Pakistani parents for this kind of pressure, because lots of people, they're not from a high class. They have seen suffering in their life, so I think they just want their kids to have a secure future, and they didn't get a chance to like pursue their hobbies, so they're scared maybe that maybe the hobbies won't guarantee their kids financial security. So that's why I think Asian parents insist more on keeping the passion and profession separate most of the times, because at the end of the day, all the parents, they just want their kids to be somewhere in life, to be secure, safe, and happy. And I think they have that trauma, or they're scared that like, I couldn't get somewhere in life maybe my kid could, and maybe I should guide them into a right direction. I know there's that pressure, which is wrong. Like, it shouldn't be there. Like, people should be allowed to like do whatever they want to do. But I think they put that in the kids' mind from an early age because they're just scared. What if we end up choosing a wrong path?
Yeah,
So it's their concern for us.
It's
basically.
out of necessity because like the parents aren't at fault. They're doing what's best for the kids. It's the system that is at fault, and it's the system that needs to change. But like, it's hard to do that.
Yeah. Also, the culture. There's a issue with the culture too, that they think that beating up your kids is gonna bring out the most productivity in them. Fear can be a good motivator, but fear can also be crippling most of the time.
Exactly.
And if your kids are like learning because they fear you, like they fear the judgment from their parents, then they're not gonna go far in life because that fear is not always gonna be around, and they're gonna become also yes men as well. What a lot of kids have the issue. Sorry, kids that get beaten up right when they're young, they can't say no to things because they've been hit, but they're scared.
No.
They're scared to
Exactly.
say no, so they say yes to a lot of things, and then they end up getting burnt out. I'm not saying yes man as in trying to people pleaser, but in a way, yes, they become people pleasers, right? Where they're afraid of saying no because they think they're gonna get hit.
True.
So they get wired that way.
Yeah, it's
And
a
hit-
subconscious thing. I don't think they
yes.
directly think.
And
I'm
hit
gonna
doesn't
get
mean
hit.
like
Yeah.
physically hit. It can be hit like in different ways, like a torture kind of hit, like a mental hit.
Yeah,
It
like
could be different
emotional,
hit.
yeah.
Exactly. And I think when I was a little kid, I used to study hard because I feared my aunt and my dad. But I think when I grew up, I saw how much my parents have done for me.
Yeah.
Like the things they have sacrificed for me to be somewhere in life, that kind of awakened a different person in me. And like I wanted to do something so that like their efforts wouldn't go to waste. So that fear shifted to a different kind of motivation. So I don't study now because I fear my parents, obviously. I study now because I want to be something, and I don't want the efforts to go to waste and to give something back to them. So it's different now.
So why would you not hit your kids if you think it didn't have a negative effect?
Okay, because I don't know, look at, how can I hit my sweet little like boy, girl, whoever that kid will be. Like I think I've got too much love in me to hit my kid.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
What if, let me give you a hypothetical situation. What if your kid's gone out and he's beat up another kid? Now he comes back and you tell him, don't do that, like that's bad. He does it again, you tell him off again, you keep telling him off and he keeps hitting this other kid. Do you think you would then be like, listen, you've got something coming for you, mate? Or no?
I hope I won't raise them in such a way that they become that stubborn. But if there's something wrong in my upbringing, if they end up turning out like that,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
what am I gonna do? How old the kid will be? The question is.
Let's say 6.
Yeah,
No,
that's
6
fine.
years old are too cute. I won't be able to.
So you
be-
just let him keep beating up the other kid?
I would take like, I don't know. I would take his toys away, or I will make them grounded, so they know there are consequences to their actions.
What if
but
that
those
makes him
consequences
more
shouldn't
angry?
physically hurt them.
What if that makes him more angry? Like,
He starts beating up a second kid now.
yeah, no, it's 2 victims.
If my kids start being
And by the way, he's 8 or 9, so he's like,
Yeah,
you know,
he's grown up
Yeah,
now
he's,
as well.
he's that annoying ugly kid. he's not like cute kid anymore. Like,
okay, I'll sit with my husband. I'll be like, we need to like come up with a game plan,
yeah.
and then whatever he say, and I'll see like what we can come up with.
Okay,
I'll
so
be strict, obviously. I'll be strict. You know, it's not like I'm gonna be, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I'll put them in their place, but I won't like hit or hurt my child because that's torture. Like 8, 9-year-old, you can't be hitting them. I'll do something like strict measures, but not hitting my kid.
Okay, final question. What if he starts hitting you?
He can't. Then I'll be that whole Islam. Where you a kid like that, Wali? Where is all of that coming
How are
from?
you finding this little Hitler?
Like these hypothetical situations.
I was a bit of a shithead as a kid, to be honest, but I didn't do that.
Then obviously I'll stop my kid and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with 1 or 2 slap. Like,
Oh, we
Oh,
got
we
him,
got
ladies
him.
and
We got
gentlemen.
him.
We got him.
The Asian mother, the instinct has come out of her. The slipper, the chuckful technique.
no, but I hope they don't hit. Like, why would they hit me? They can't be that rude. My kids can't be that rude.
They
Yeah,
won't be if
no.
you raise them more.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel-
I'll raise them well. Like manners, basic manners are so important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Tell you what I would do.
What?
Send them to martial arts. Yeah.
Interesting. Take out your anger on.
Yeah, or I'd be something, become good at something. They'll also get some humbling because they will get hit back.
Yeah, that's a good solution. To
Because
be fair.
I used to be such a bad kid. I got into a fight once. Somebody said something to my cousin, and this girl bullied my cousin. And I'm really like possessive about my loved ones. Like you can't protective. Sorry, you can't mess with people I love. So what I did, I went to these shops in Pakistan, and I saw that girl. She had this little ponytail, and then I was really small. I'm not a bad person now. Like I've actually redeemed myself. I'm good. Yeah, everything's clear. So that girl, she was buying something. I was buying something, and I saw her, and I got so angry. I don't know why, and I pulled her hair, and I started beating her up in the middle of the road, and it was like a compound kind of area. So there were shops across, like in a circle, and there was like a road in between, and I started like beating her up, and all the shopkeepers came out. They were like in Urdu, "Ruk jao, please, like bacho, like don't fight. What are you guys doing?" And they like started pulling us away, and then they took me to my house because everyone knew where I used to live. It was a local area, and then obviously I got like, I don't know what happened to me. Yeah, I think I got told off or maybe beaten up. But I was proud of myself because that girl actually messed up with my cousin's mental health. But it's not right. Like, you know, this is not how you should be dealing with the situation. You should be peaceful and
through dialogue.
through dialogue. Exactly.
Yeah,
Never again.
mashallah.
I've fixed myself. Like,
That's the character arc we love to see.
exactly.
So then, how old were you when you came to the UK?
How old was I? My math is in math. I think I came to UK in on 1st December 2017. And I was born in 2003. So how old does that make me?
14.
14. I was 14.
What was that like? When did you find out? And actually, first, you said did you live in Dubai before that?
No, I lived in Saudi Arabia for 3 years.
Saudi Arabia. So what was that like when you found out you were moving out of Pakistan?
I was normally living my life in Pakistan, and and at that time I shifted from the O-level system to matriculation system, because to do medicine in Pakistan, if you've done O-levels, they deduct some marks when giving you admission. I don't know why. In medical schools in Pakistan, there's something about that. So my dad researched into it, and he was like, because at that time I had no plans to go abroad, maybe for masters, but not for like undergraduate. So my dad was like, if you want to stay in Pakistan and do medicine, you shouldn't do O levels. And I searched up about it, and that he was right. Like, I don't know, they take 20% away from your grades or something if you do O levels and A levels. So I had to shift to matriculation system. So in Pakistan, I used to go to like private school, and then I switched from a private school to different private school, which was a matriculation private school. So which wasn't like that fancy or nice school. Like my other school in Pakistan, it had swimming pool, gym, everything. It was good school. And the second school I moved to, it was really small. I was I was forced to learn Sindhi, the provisional language of Sindh, Karachi. So I was forced to learn that, and I had no idea. I've never done Sindhi in my entire life, so that was quite difficult. And the English was quite easy. You had to they didn't even teach you English. You just had to learn the passages and poems, and learn the answers of certain questions. And English, they included history in English. It was such a messed up kind of system. The teacher just used to come into the class, write on board. You just had to copy what she was writing and learn and give the test. There was literally no learning taking place. So on my first day of that school, when I went to like a different kind of school, I was so sad. I was crying, and I was like, everyone is so different. Everything is so different. The desks, I don't know, the tables were so bad. I was like, the floor is of really bad quality. They have no AC, and I don't know. I was just thinking, like, what has life come to? Like, you know, like, I don't know. But then,
I have to mix with these peasants.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. I don't look at people like that. I don't. Everyone is like, no, the people I met there, they were the loveliest people ever. Like, I still miss them. I still talk to them. So it's not the students. Like, obviously they were like a bit different, but they were amazing. Like, I got along with them like that. I think with me, I can get along with all sorts of people.
If they took my AC away, I'm angry.
So
because of you guys.
but the guys were a bit weird in that school. Like, they started calling me, I don't know, they started calling me American. I don't know why. Just because I came from like a different school. And I don't know, they just started teasing me. And one guy, I don't know, he tried to mess with me. I told him off in the corridor. And then
What did you tell him?
I said to him, तुम्हारा मुंह तोड़ के हाथ में रख दूंगी. Like, I'll break.
Oh God, I'll break him up and put it in your hand.
Yeah, like,
Damn.
he was, I don't know, he was trying to like, he was actually,
That's a bar.
Guys,
I'm
no,
not gonna-
he was trying to bully me. And then, I don't know, he was, I don't know, he was just trying to bully me because I came from a certain school and he was just being weird about it. And he stalked me on Facebook because at that time Facebook was a big thing. It was long. Anyways. But just because I was from a different school and some people thought I'm a bit different, lots of guys actually had a crush on me in that school. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, like felt a bit popular. but the girls and the guys, they were all really nice overall. But that school used to depress me because the education was like I wasn't learning anything. So I used to go to school just to waste my time. Like I used to feel, I don't know, I was feeling that my life is falling apart in that school. I used to hate it when I used to go to like a lunch area. The segregation was crazy. It was a mixed school, but the boys were on one side and girls were on one side. And I knew one of my friends used to go to that school, so I was like, can you show me around the school? And he was showing me around the school. And one of the teachers saw us. He was literally just showing me around the school, and she started telling us off. And she was like, what are you guys doing together? Like, you're not meant to be like walking around the school together. And I was like, that's new, because in my other school, like, it was like, I don't know, like,
That's what actually causes the problem when they like make it an issue.
exactly, it wasn't an
Because
issue.
then like kids are thinking like, oh, what is so wrong about boys? Like, and that's how when there's more division between the two sexes, the more problem in the little understanding there is when they grow up, and they just see women as like almost sex objects. Like
Exactly. The culture in both schools like was like North and South Pole, like was massively different. And what I hated about that school was they used to eat and they used to throw wrappers on the floor. They didn't used to put in the bin, and that angered me so much. I was like, which place am I stuck in, you know? So I was crying, and then my dad said we might have to go to UK. And you know what, I was looking in my phone. I was like, I searched up schools in Birmingham because my aunt lives in Birmingham, so we thought we'll move to Birmingham. So I was searching up schools in Birmingham, and then I was opening like random schools website, and I was looking at like how their table and chairs were. I was in such a bad position. I was like, okay.
oh, man, that's so sweet.
And then
table and chairs were the metric of.
and then I came across a school. I was like King Edward, and I opened it. I was like, oh, that school looks so fancy, nice. I was like, I wonder how would I get into that school, but I forgot about it. And then I came to UK, and then obviously I couldn't go to school for like 3 months because of the whole asylum situation. So we didn't have like a permanent home address. We were living in the refugee hostel, so we didn't have like proof of address. So that's why I couldn't get into school. So my education was kind of delayed after coming to UK. But then once I got into school, I got into like a girls' school.
Did that make you antisocial? The being 3 months off?
Somehow, I don't know why, but it didn't.
Because I was 6 months off and I became very I was a bit of
Really?
yeah, I did not feel like
Oh, that's just unlocked a memory for me as well. I was off school for a bit when we came to the UK first. I can't remember. I had completely forgot about it. But that process takes a while for some reason, doesn't it?
yeah.
It does.
Actually getting into
Yes.
Getting
school
into
when you
school is a
first
big
come.
thing.
For 6 months I was not in school.
Oh my
That
god.
was, and all I
That's
did
so
was play
hard.
video games
That-
every single day.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Oh no, no.
That's
when-
what no it does, because later on I had like video games addictions, and like I feel like it's still, I mean, it definitely ruined my focus, because imagine like 6 months straight, all you do, you barely see anyone of your age, and all you doing is playing video games.
Why were you not studying, Khushal? Because when I was waiting, I got like key stage 4 books, and I started studying to like stay on top of my work.
Well, my parents, they were in a trauma, so they didn't
Yeah.
weren't really thinking about me, because
True,
my
true.
sister's
Definitely,
treatment was
100%
going on.
makes sense.
And with me, like there was a visa issue, right? So I couldn't go to any schools.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you get those books yourself, or did your parents get the books for you?
We can-
No, my dad. It's
Did-
not like
like,
I'm
did
not
you
that
ask-
keen to. I'm not that keen to study. I'm not like a Nick or something.
Nah, that would have been impressive, to be fair.
No,
If-
I don't think I'm that impressive. My dad was like, "Why are you wasting your time? You need to like catch up on like when you go to school. You don't want to be missing out." So he was like, "Think about it." And then I just did my research and got myself the books.
Yeah.
But it was my dad's idea. He was more concerned about me
okay,
than myself.
makes
I was like,
sense.
I'll start studying, working hard when I get into school. But obviously, when I got into school, I started working hard. I did well in GCSEs.
What did
Yeah,
you get?
I got 3 nines, 3 eights, 3 sevens, and a distinction.
That's
Oh,
6 A stars, right?
6 A stars.
She
How
was,
many
wa-
A's?
she was waiting for me to ask, by the way. Did you
I-
see it?
Yeah.
I smashed my GCSEs.
And how long did you have to do that? Like, so you joined in year 10,
No, year 9.
year 9. Okay.
In the middle
so
of
that's
in
still
the
very
middle
little
of
time.
actually towards the end of year 9.
Oh my, that's very impressive.
Yes.
That is
You must
very
have worked
impressive.
extremely hard.
I did. I used to watch these free science lesson YouTube
Oh,
videos.
God
what
bless
a
that
guy,
man.
yeah.
That
He's
guy.
serious.
Oh, a guy.
BBC Bite Size, all of that. CGP
Yeah.
revision,
Oh,
guys.
Yes.
All
you
of
know they
that.
said, oh, like if you wanna get grade 6, no, grade 6,
Grade
or grade
sev-
C, like it was C, right? Letter C.
Yeah.
That's all they're good for. I'm like, no, stop
They're
lying to
good.
me.
They start.
They got me that A star.
Exactly,
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
It's free science lessons.
But
so
yeah, he
much.
was
Because of
legend,
my
man.
GCSE results, so when I was in Pakistan randomly looking at, King Edward 5A school, it looks good. And I didn't even think about it after that. I applied to obviously sixth forms, and at that time I was like, okay, my results are good. I applied to like grammar school sixth form because my predicted grades were good. And I got into 2 grammar schools, Bishop Weasley's grammar school and King Edward 5A's. And then I was thinking deep in life one day, and I was like, I really wanted to like go to that King Edward school, and at that time I didn't think that I would actually be able to get into it. And now I had the results and I got into that school, so which was
Wow.
crazy.
Did you celebrate?
Hmm?
Did you celebrate getting in?
Into 5A's.
Yeah.
Oh, me getting into 5A's was a bit weird because first I got into Bishop Weasley's, so I started going to Bishop Weasley's sixth form.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I was still on waiting list for 5A's. They didn't tell me the results. So I started going to Bishop Weasley's and I was depressed. I didn't like that. It felt like, I don't know, it felt weird. I didn't have a lot of fun there.
Why?
I don't know, Khushal. I felt like I was in a jail. They were so strict. They were so strict. I mean, it was a good sixth form, you know, like a nice English, typical cultured English kind of education system. It was amazing. But I just didn't get along with the people there. I don't know why. I didn't have fun. I hated going to sixth form. I was so far away, like 2 hours worth of travel. Because it
traveled
wasn't.
2 hours.
I don't know where it is. It's in
That's
certain coalfield. I don't know where it is. I forgot.
That's
But
2
it's
hours
not
is
in
mad.
Birmingham.
That is
It's like a bit
crazy.
further away. So it was long for me, and they had this like strict uniform, and then I think there was lack of diversity as well. No
That
offense.
plays a huge part.
I
Huge.
think that there was lack of diversity, and everyone, even the like Asian kids, they were quite whitewashed, and I thought I didn't belong. So I thought I'll go into King Edward 5A's when I got my offer, but I didn't say no to Bishop Weasley's. I thought I'll go in for a day, trial and error, test it. If it turns out good, I'll stay in 5A's, and then I'll like allow Bishop Weasley's. I went to 5A's. I actually enjoyed it. Like the friends I made there, I'm still friends with them, so which is good. I mean, the grammar school environment overall is really toxic, competitive. We'll talk about it, but like in terms of people, the diversity, 5A's had more diversity than
Yes.
Bishop Weasley's, and it was a bit more chill. Like they didn't have like uniform. You just have to be professional, like wear blazers, and it just felt less like school and actually like sixth form. Bit more chilled. The teachers were like so strict and scary in Bishop Weasley's. Like I used to be scared, like if they picked
Really?
up on me. But in 5A's it was a bit more calm. Like I think I developed good relationship with certain teachers, so it was better than Bishop Weasley's.
What was your experience like in the refugee hostel?
In the refugee hostel, it was so difficult, Wali, because they literally gave us one room, like a family of 5, and you have to live in one room. It was
That's
so
mad.
difficult, and the food was so bad. Like we had to like rely on like fast food. They just used to like put tomato sauce and make like a weird curry kind of pasta, or like a tomato curry and like boiled wet kind of rice. The food, I don't think the food was nutritious enough as well. I can't lie. There was no internet there, which is crazy, like, you know. So me and my dad, we used to walk to University of Birmingham to like use Wi-Fi and actually like send an application for certain stuff. So it was quite difficult. And obviously the social life was like, there was no social life. It was weird and depressing. I can't lie. It was really
Did you
really
learn from
depressing
the experience.
of living in refugee hostel.
Yeah, like that whole period.
I realized that I need to be like actually be grateful in life. Like after that, like, you know, the norm, like after I got out of refugee hostel and I started living in my house and my life started becoming back to like normal, I forgot that I went through all of that, and I used to like complain about certain things in my life and be ungrateful, like little things. But then when I started thinking about it, the stuff I went through in that refugee hostel, my life is so much better than that now. So I think I shouldn't like forget the struggles, and I should actually be grateful for like how far I've come in life. So that's really important. And I think the importance of getting along with different kind of people, because in that refugee hostel there were people from all over the world. Some people came to UK hiding in like containers, hiding in boats, like sleeping. Some kids, they had to hold themselves from like peeing because they couldn't. They had like, it was so difficult like for some people. Like I came to UK by plane, but some people, the experiences they had in that refugee hostel, the stories I heard were crazy. It was mad. And I heard about this there were lots of people from like war affected countries like Afghanistan, Syria, and all of that. And I heard about this program called Doctors Without Borders program. So there were doctors, they helped those people in the refugee camps, and they like told me how those doctors actually made a difference in their lives, which kind of also kind of motivated me to go through the medicine route. So I can like use my experience of being a refugee, but I can also be a doctor, and maybe in future when I'm doctor after few years, I can like work in those camps. And I don't know if they get paid for it or not, like, but I actually don't care. Like even if I don't get paid, I would just want to go and like provide my services and just help people out there, because I saw some kids actually had big traumas. They went through stuff in their home countries, and even traveling to UK through boats, hiding in containers, and not having enough food, like peeing, or like not having toilet. It was so difficult for some people. The stories were crazy, horrible. Like, you know, people, sometimes lots of people say, oh, refugees are coming, taking our jobs, immigrants, all of that. But those people have no idea what some of these little kids and people have been through to just come to this country. They're not going to just come here for fun and jokes. They actually have real issues, real struggles they go through that force them to like leave their home countries.
Yeah. What would you say to someone like that? Because it's really relevant in the news at the moment. Like there's a lot of people who are anti-immigration, who hate refugees, and like Suella Braverman and this current government were trying to deport a lot of refugees to Rwanda forcefully. So what would you say to people like that to make them just understand the perspective of a refugee a bit more?
Wali, personally, I think some people just don't want to understand the perspective of refugees. I think they need to understand that these people left their home countries for a safe life. So forcing them into a different country with less facilities, bad education system, bad food. Like, are you trying to say that refugees are people who you should be looking down at? Do they not deserve the same rights and same food and same kind of lifestyle? Just because they're refugees and their lives are at risk, you would send them to anywhere. Like, are they animals or are they objects? You will like ship them or transfer them anywhere. So I think they need to see them as humans, not as objects.
But what if they say that, oh, they've come here illegally, and that like puts our country in danger? It will take, you know, the way they have entered the country isn't legitimate. What would you say to that?
Someone who is fighting to live, why do you think they would have time or facilities to think of like legitimate reasons or like have facilities? Like imagine a war zone countries. Are you gonna go to a passport office, go make a passport, or get like a nice fancy airline ticket and then come to a country? People don't have those resources. People are like flying for their lives. Like people are running away. That is literally the legitimate proof that their lives are at risk. That they are coming, taking those illegal routes, putting their lives at risk in the oceans, in the seas, through those containers. You know, little kids. No one would want to do that for fun. They're actually at danger. That's why they just trying to get out somehow and trying to find refuge in you. And if you turn them down like that, like what kind of person you are? You need to think about that.
Yeah, like if they were in their positions, they would do the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just have to be a bit selfless, show a bit of empathy and a bit of gratitude as well for the position you're in. It is kind of understandable when you look at it from their position, like especially if you're ignorant, you would think like, why is my country, it can't afford to like keep the NHS waiting list short. It can't like take the homeless people off the streets? Why are they now providing for these like people coming from a different country as well? But you've also got to consider your country was probably involved in bombing and destroying their countries, so now they've had to come
Yemen,
to Western countries.
Palestine, even Afghanistan in the Iraq war.
Yeah,
Like Tony Blair.
yeah.
I mean,
You
he
destabilize these countries,
the
and then people are forced to
colonialism.
come here, and then you don't want them. But it's just unfair. Like, be a bit.
Yeah, no.
Selfless.
Listen, no one's coming to your country legally if they've got a good life somewhere else,
Yeah.
and they're not suffering from a war that, the warlords from these superpowers that have been involved in
And-
causing that suffering.
And the issue is, it's always just the layman that suffers. Like, even in these countries, a lot of these people who are anti-immigration, they're just normal people. Like, you can understand their perspective, I'm not gonna lie, because they do suffer, but the people at the top, the elites, make them think that they're suffering because of the refugees and the immigrants, when they're actually suffering because of the people in the high up positions who are making the
100%.
decisions in their country.
Yeah.
Not because of this other guy who's struggling just like you are. Is that guy who has like 99.9% of the wealth. You need to try and take 1% of his wealth, not fight it out for the 0.1%
Yeah.
with the other guy.
And you're paying a lot of tax, and if that's going to Ukraine in these wars and bombing Yemen, then those people are your enemies.
Yeah.
And it's those people who are telling you the immigrants are the problem when they're clearly not.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I've
It's a very
noticed
sad
is
situation.
lots of refugees, immigrants are really hardworking to make a life for themselves. Like, lots of people, they can't even speak English. They come to UK, start from scratch. Imagine not knowing a language and coming to a whole new country. They learn English, they go to classes, courses, study, work hard, like do different jobs, make a life for themselves. So why would they steal your job? They're literally like working hard for themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, and those people who are like pointing out fingers at immigrants, they're not doing anything for themselves. They're probably like relying on benefits and not doing anything, and just like sitting on the sofa and commenting on the immigrants taking the job. But those immigrants, they're working hard day and night to feed their families. So
Exactly.
that is quite unfair.
What was life like in Saudi Arabia?
Oh, this life in Saudi Arabia was actually quite fun. Different, like massively different from Pakistan and UK. Obviously, I think now they have changed it, but at that time, all the women had to wear an abaya. The kids didn't have to wear an abaya, but I just thought like I'll wear an abaya. It felt cute. But life is nice in Saudi Arabia. The food was great. Everything was so peaceful. Like, and the thing is, we used to live in Jeddah as well for a bit. So Makkah was like an hour away from us. So I could just go, like we used to go to Makkah like every weekend, which was really nice. Ramadans were really nice in Saudi Arabia. But one thing I noticed in Saudi Arabia, I think there was a bit of loneliness.
Really?
Like, like how they have communities, they have massive Pakistani communities, but everything is not as amazing as UK, and like people are not that close together. Like, for example, like how we have in Birmingham, like local mosques, everyone come together, people know people. There, I've noticed lots of women don't actually go to a lot of mosques. And one thing that there is discrimination between Saudis and other people. So if you're not a Saudi, and if you like get into an argument with a Saudi, it's looking long for you.
Really?
Yes.
Is it racism?
There is racism. I didn't face racism, but my dad told me in workplace there's a lot of racism, especially with Pakistani and Indian people. Crazy amount of racism.
What about discrimination towards women? Because in countries like the UK, we get told that Saudi Arabia is an extremely sexist country. Is that true?
I mean, when I used to live in Saudi, I just used to go to school. I didn't used to be out and about a lot because you can't just be going out yourself. But I didn't usually see women in a lot of workplaces. I think it's changed now, because when I used to live in Saudi Arabia, it was like 2012, 2010, 2013. It's changed massively. But at that time, I didn't see a lot of women like out there. And the public transport system, there was no public transport system. So you either have a car or you use a taxi.
Yeah.
So there is definitely discrimination against women. Because I didn't used to see women in like I don't know. I saw women, but not in like dealing with people, like not in shops, not in um not in other places. Like all the people were men. Maybe there were women in businesses and offices, but not like.
Was that? Do you think that's because of discrimination or more so a cultural thing? Do you think there's an aspect of the women don't really want to do those jobs?
But Wali, okay, the Saudi women, the rich women, obviously didn't want to do those jobs. But there were so many immigrants in Saudi, like working hard, and it's so difficult for them to survive alone without a man in Saudi. Like if she's not educated enough, if she's not rich enough, she has to work somewhere. And I didn't see like lots of women like working there. So
Interesting.
like the easy, not the easy, sorry, not the easy jobs, but like for example, like a retail assistant. I didn't see lots of women being there, like in the local shop, maybe in the malls, yes, but not like that.
And what was the education like?
Education. So I didn't go to an Arabic school because I don't know why I didn't go to an Arabic school. Yeah, because I couldn't speak Arabic. Why? Like, how would I survive in an Arabic school? So I went to a Pakistani school first, and then I went to an English school for a bit. So in the Pakistani school, the education was so bad. It was literally like the Pakistan's matriculation system. It was called Pakistan International School, Jeddah. Sorry, I shouldn't like be naming, but the education was bad. Like, there was literally like it was exactly the same structure, the same thing. Teachers didn't care about teaching you. I don't even think, no offense, but I don't think some teachers were professional or qualified enough to teach.
Really?
It was like a government school, so it was like, I think they just used to get through Pakistan's embassy, and they just used to like get their job somehow through sources or through like their contacts or networking. So some of the teachers, principals, they weren't qualified enough to be principals, but they were still principals. So I felt like I went to a government school in Pakistan while I was living in Saudi. But when I went to the English school, it was really, really good. It was from Pakistan. It was like a Pakistani school, but there were lots of like white people, Chinese people, international students. So it was called Pakistan International School, English medium, something like that. So there was one that was just Pakistan International School, and there was one that was called English medium. So we had to like pay a lot of fees for that, but the education was normal, like O-level system, crazy, like fancy. I've never seen a school as fancy as that. Like even my school in Pakistan wasn't as fancy as that. Like they had like crazy like canteens, cafeterias, lots of those, play areas, swimming pools, gyms, auditoriums, cinemas in school,
So
like
sick.
like a massive.
You're missing out, man.
I think
might move to Saudi.
I think it was better than I think it was better than universities. I don't know, but it was so massive. Like, and there were people from all over the world there. Like there were like different teachers, like different nationalities. So it was quite diverse. I actually felt like I'm living like in the world rather than living in Saudi. So that was a good school. But then obviously we moved back to Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get back to sixth form, your experience at sixth form. So you are currently studying medicine. What was that journey like?
The journey to medicine
Yes, during sixth form, yes.
was so difficult. You know as well, Khushal, how difficult
Yeah, you
it was for
discovered
me.
my video.
I saw your video about A-level revision, and my dad was like, don't make the same mistakes as Khushal.
Because I failed, guys. I got a BDE and I lost on UCL and King's. And that broke my heart. But then I managed to get in, and then I made a video on like basically telling people about how I basically had the comeback journey, like what mistakes I made. So just for context, yeah.
Did you guys know each other before that, or did you watch the video and?
No, I watched the video.
Yeah.
I commented on it,
Oh,
and
really?
and then I followed him on Instagram. That's when
It was
we
a
got
follow
to
on
know each other.
Instagram.
But the
That's
fact is,
nice.
the crazy fact is, he went to the same sixth form as me.
Yes, so I also went King Edward 5 ways.
That's mad.
I would not have reached out if I didn't know. I was like, oh, King Edward 5 is. I was like, oh, I recognize this name. Like, she's commented on my video. So that's why, like, then we introduced. Like,
Did you
Yeah.
reply to the comment?
I don't even know.
He did.
Oh,
He was
okay,
called
well done.
Kusharis that time.
Kusharis, yeah. I was Khushal Yusufzai. Channel is dead. I don't need to get back on it. Me and you are slacking with our content creation.
No, you're not.
Well, I got podcast.
Yeah, you've got that's
I
good,
need
but
to-
I'm
yeah.
slacking. I need to fix up. Like, I actually need to fix up.
So you were creating a lot of content then, and I told you like, put it on hold.
yes, study for
So
your A
did
levels.
you.
No, you
And her
can't blame him.
father.
No, I'm joking.
But I actually like
Don't just
got
blame
through
it on
my.
me.
It's not him. Like I was actually struggling with my A levels, Wali. Like because the thing is, I went from a girls' school to like a sixth form, and my school was mainly Asian dominated, and the sixth form was like a whole different exposure for me. So it took me like time to get used to that, and obviously making friends, settling down. I got so busy, like as I told you, I love constant entertainment, so I got so busy like having fun with my friends and everything. And I just let my studies take a back seat. And I don't know, this is gonna sound so weird, but I think in my sixth form there was like, I don't know if people will agree with it, but because obviously I went from like a girls Asian dominated school to like a different, like a diverse sixth form. I think there was like a certain beauty standard. Like if you like didn't look nice in sixth form, like if you didn't wear the clothes certain way, I don't think you would be classed as beautiful or something. Maybe I used to overthink. So when I started sixth form, I started overthinking a lot. I used to plan my outfits a day before, that this is what I'm gonna wear.
Really?
It was so
I think
long.
a
And
lot of girls do
I
that.
think no, but I don't do that anymore for uni. Like I can't be asked.
Yeah.
The main thing is waking up for uni and just getting to uni. Once I went to hospital in pajamas. That was weird. We meant to look professional in hospital, but that was
Yeah.
at least I made it.
I think at that age in college, like I think a lot of girls did that, but now in uni, bro, some of these people come out looking crazy. I
Yeah, they look
can't-
bummy, man.
Yeah,
In their hoodies and trackies. That's
no,
the.
it's
Okay,
fine. Just be,
I don't.
I like
look,
that. You know,
yeah,
relax.
it's good. Be comfortable. I prefer
Yeah.
that.
I don't
over-
always look
Yeah.
comfortable though. Like when I have time, obviously I try to look nice. Why not? But
Mm.
like this is not my main focus now. But I was trying so hard to fit into the sixth form. Like it was such a different exposure, and everything was so different. I don't know. Like people used to go to these parties. I don't know. Everything was just, the culture was quite different. So I got invested. I don't know why. I didn't think that this is not my whole life. This is just 2 years of my life. I have to get through A levels. I thought like this is gonna be my life or something. I just thought like I have to like settle in and make friends and just get along with everyone in sixth form. So I got so busy just in my sixth form life rather than focusing on my A levels, and I let my A levels like take a back seat, which was so wrong, because during my mocks, when I was not doing well, I was actually struggling. And then obviously my video went viral during the sixth form years, so I started making like a lot of content, like crazy amount of content, because of so my Instagram took the front seat now. So allowed the sixth form thing, now I was focusing on my Instagram, and again the A levels took the back seat. And my dad was like stressing about me, like what is actually going to happen. He was making backup plans, like what am I going to do if I don't get into medicine, because he was actually stressed. He was seeing like how unfocused I am. And then obviously it was so difficult. UCAT, A levels, the stress of A levels. I used to get exam day anxiety. Like during exam, I used to think my mind is just going blank. I used to get so anxious. My heart used to like race so fast.
Really.
It was so difficult to like get into medicine, but I got in, which is amazing.
Well done.
Yeah,
It
it was
is-
long, but here I am.
It is a very difficult and stressful process getting into medicine. I was initially going to do medicine as well, but it just wasn't for me, so I decided not to do it. What did you end up getting in your A levels eventually?
So I got A star in Urdu. Which was a free exam. My dad just said just do an A level Urdu independent, like by yourself. So I did that. Got an A in bio, A in chemistry, B in maths. Taking A level maths was hell for me. I think for you as well.
Oh yeah.
That was the most
That's what
stupid
actually
decision of my life.
Mine too, because I did a year earlier. So I got my grade A in GCSE in year 10. So I did a year earlier. Year 11 I didn't do it. I should have done further maths. Then I chose it for A levels, and I was like a whole year behind. Imagine I hadn't touched maths for 1 year, and then my confidence was so low that while I was trying to catch up on maths, and I'll be constantly like failing, the other two subjects that I was getting A's at and A stars at, they also, they plummeted. And I
Exactly.
was like, oh, what's the point of me doing well in these two when I'm not going to get into my dream university anyways, because I'm going to mess up maths. So I basically fully self-sabotage and basically messed all of them up. But one thing I think that's extremely admirable about you, and I think this is what got you in, and I'll tell you why it's so admirable. you're getting hundreds of thousands of views. I think some of your videos have 600K, nearing millions,
Yeah.
right? And you were like, nope. And then you really went off. You pretty much went off Instagram.
I did. I deleted Instagram, Khushal. He advised me,
But
and
she
he
had
took his
so
advice.
much momentum. How many kids in this this generation that are addicted to their phones, they're getting hundreds and thousands of views, and then they're like, nope, my studies are more important, my dream is more important. And that is literally, if people were just to put their phones away, they would be able to focus so much better, and they will be able to achieve their dreams. And you had a thing going for you as well. And the fact that you were like, nope, I'm going to put this on hold. I can always do this. But A-levels, you can only have so many goals.
Exactly.
Mm.
And
That is
one-
very admirable.
Thank you.
But
thank you guys.
if you 10 years down the line you wish, oh, I wish I did content creation, you know who to blame.
Okay, Khushal, I'm coming for you if something.
This guy, man.
I'm coming for you, Khushal. No, but like at least I got into med
when you
school.
become a doctor and you making that good money, I want to cut.
Bro,
Deal.
doctors in the
Okay,
UK
no,
aren't
that's
making
fair,
good
that's-
Yeah, to be
money.
fair, you know what?
What good money, bro?
I'll actually pay her for doing this, for doing service.
Are you
Use
pla-
my tax, guys?
Are you planning on staying in the UK after?
I think I'll move to Dubai, maybe, or Canada.
Yeah. Then
But
she'll
I'll
be
see.
making that
But it
money.
depends.
Okay, then I want my cut.
but it depends on like if I'm married or something. Like it depends. Like I'll discuss with my husband like where we both want to live. So I'll see.
It's a good
Because I
mindset.
need to see where are the chances of finding a husband better, in UK or in Dubai. So I need to sort that department out.
That's a very interesting question.
Because I'll sort that department out first, and then I'll see where I'm moving. Because imagine if I move to Dubai, and like obviously I'm not going to uni. I might not have the same exposure as in UK, because I have like a whole life in UK. And now I think I've got a good life in Scotland as well, and in Birmingham. So I've got like more exposure, right? And if I have no Netflix, and if I just go to Dubai, just becoming a doctor, making money, if I'm not married, but if I want to get married, it's like what am I going to do? Like, you know? So I need to like sort that department out. I don't want to ignore that. So yeah. So I'll see.
Do you know what you want to specialize in?
Cardiology.
So that's heart, right?
That's hard.
Yeah, okay. My biology is lacking, so I have to double check.
It's okay.
G-
It's
I
okay. No,
left in
but you know,
GCSEs. I got an A, you know.
you know, exactly. But one thing about grammar school is, I felt so stupid in grammar school because everyone in grammar school is so smart.
Yeah.
They have so much knowledge, and because I used to be smart one in my school, but when I got into grammar school, I felt so dumb because everyone was like on top of their game. So that kind of created that competitive study environment, and I started comparing myself to other people, which I think kind of pushed me back as well because I started thinking I'm stupid. So
Oh, I had the same thing,
Yeah.
Nabeeha. And continue.
No,
Exact
no,
same thing.
I just started thinking I'm stupid, and then that used to push me down. Like that used to bring my motivation down more, because in school I used to think, okay, I'm doing well, I'm smart, so that used to motivate me to like do even better. But in grammar school, I was getting depressed, like in terms of studies. Like I was happy with friends and everything, but studies, like they were absolute shambles. So yeah.
I remember doing the exact same thing. I had 2 A stars, all A's and just 1B. And I went to 5 ways, and people are just, they all seem to have like 8 A stars whenever I asked.
Exactly, like
Like,
how?
why did I even ask, by the way? I'm like, like it was it's such an intrusive thing anyways. Like I would be very curious because I was dreaming of doing like getting into like Oxford, Cambridge, in these top universities. And I even went to like, you know, the career advice guy. I was like, oh, I'm interested in these unis. But he was like, oh, with 2 A stars, that's very unlikely. And then I'm looking around. I'm like, should I be even dreaming this big with 2 A stars? Like I have no chance. And it's just that really destroyed my self-confidence. And that started my downward trajectory because I let letters on a piece of paper define my
That's so
me
true.
and
I
limited
mean,
me.
lots of people from 5 A's from my year, they got into Cambridge and Oxford, got into good unis. But I think it depends, like at the end of the day, if you're like happy with yourself and if you're like where you want to be. Like I think with medicine, I can't really be picky that I want to get into certain uni because it's just so difficult to just get into a med school.
Yeah.
I was actually quite stupid when I got into Dundee, Khushal. I was because I got into Queen's for biomed, so I was gonna leave my Dundee offer and go do biomed in London.
Queensberry.
Yes, I
That
was
is
gonna do
crazy.
biomed in London.
Thank
And
God.
when I got my email from Dundee, I was actually going to delete it. I was like, my parents haven't seen this. I'll delete it because I was thinking Dundee is a small city. I'll get depressed there. What if there are no, I don't know. Like, what if it's just like white people and there's no diversity? What am I going to do? And I was thinking, I want to get married when I don't know. Sounds stupid, but I was like, I want to like find someone. Who am I going to find in Dundee? Like, that is such a small city, right?
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about my life in general. I was like, London, I love London, opportunities, social media, networking, people, place. Like, London is crazy. It's like a whole new world opens up to you. The exposure in London is like
Yeah,
massive.
it's great. This
It's
is why
amazing.
it's better than Oxbridge, in my opinion.
Exactly. So I wanted to live in London. I was like, this is my dream. Like, since I was a kid, I always wanted to move to London. So I was like, I have this. Like, I can. But then I was about to delete my Dundee email. But then I was like, no, Nabeeha, hold on for a second. Like, think about it. Like, you want to be doctor, like I've always wanted to be doctor. I wanted to live in London, but I always wanted to be doctor. Like, in 3 years' time, when my biomed degree is over, and then I won't be a doctor, like, I might be rethinking my decision. And then I thought about my parents, like, they worked so hard, moved countries, like, spent so much on my education for me to make, like, a stupid decision. Like, being a doctor is such a privilege, and Dundee Medical School is actually really good. And I was like, no, I can't be that stupid. So I was like, I went downstairs, I told my dad, Papa, I got in. And then he was more happy than me. Like, he was, like, actually, like, really, really happy.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I made the right decision. And here I am, and I'm happy. Dundee's great.
Even when you let me know, you didn't seem that gassed.
Did I know?
Yeah, you were like, oh, Dundee's so far away.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like-
was complaining about
I'm
it,
like,
Khushal.
because I had seen what my friends went through, because they would, so you can apply to 4 universities, right? For
Yeah,
medicine.
not 5.
Not 4, and 5th one is biomed, right?
Yes.
It's
And they
whatever
would get
you
one.
want.
Whatever
but
you
most
want.
people choose biomed.
Yeah, and they would get one offer, and most of them, like, from the thing, you got rejected, and they barely got one offer from each. And I'm like, if I wanted to do medicine, I would do it in a hut. And you're like, you go into a very good university, you're gonna have completely, like, it's gonna be such a new and beautiful experience. Why is this girl like not happy about this? But I'm glad that common sense kicked in.
No, it
But
did.
it's very natural,
I
though.
was so
It's very
scared to go to
understandable.
Dundee. Like, I didn't care. I don't know why I didn't care about the medicine at that point. Like, I wanted this, and I got this. Because some of my friends who got bare A-level grades and bare UCAT than me, they didn't get into medicine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so,
And
so weird.
I was
difficult.
telling them to take a gap year and reapply, but they're going to like pharmacy and other courses, and they're going to uni and they're not doing medicine. But they could have taken a gap year. But like, I should be grateful because there are only like 33 medical schools in UK, and it's so difficult to get into. So when on my first day of med school, they were like, no one get into med school by chance, so like, congratulations, you made it. So then I realized, you know what, I'm doing something. When I went into the hospital, like, saw the environment, clinical skill center, got my scrubs, stethoscope and everything. Like,
Wow.
that was crazy. It felt like a dream come true.
Did you embrace it, or were you like, part of you was like, you had to like pinch yourself, and like you felt weird that
No, I had to pinch myself, Khushal, 'cause it felt so good. Like, when we're giving the sizes for our scrubs, buying stethoscope with your name on it, and just going around med school. And the thing is, our med school is in the hospital, and it's the Nine Wells Hospital is like, because Dundee is like really small, and Dundee's got like other small towns around it. So that's like the biggest hospital in that area. And like, so lots of people from far away travel to that hospital. That's like the massive hospitals, and it's one of the largest teaching hospitals in Europe. And our school, like, our lectures take place in the hospital, so we're not on main campus a lot. We're always in the hospital, and like, taught by the professionals, doctors, cardiologists, and we've got amazing equipments, everything. We get to see patients as well from this early on, so we get clinical experience at this stage. So it felt amazing. Like, it does feel amazing.
That is really cool.
It's really
And
nice.
just being a doctor is such a fulfilling profession as well. But what I find is really interesting is you were so young, but the thought of marriage was such a big factor in decision making. Why
No,
was
not
that?
in decision making. It's just I'm just. Why is that? That's a good question.
Bollywood.
No, it's not Bollywood. Allow.
Are you sure it's not Disney?
No, it's not Disney. Good question, Wali.
Thanks, I'm full of them. It's because I run a podcast, you see.
And I'm his co-host, of course. You know.
She didn't say good question to you.
Um,
Nah, it's just like, I'm transferring everything down to you.
No,
See, this is what I'm taking for granted. This is why I quit, man.
Let her
After
answer
this
the
episode-
question,
No, that's
bro.
fine.
Sorry, this is why.
Exactly.
You know what? You might
Exactly.
be right. I think I think I'm the problem. I think I'm bringing you down. Sorry.
You need to look who you're friends with,
Yeah,
Wali.
exactly.
No offense. But I didn't mean, when I said marriage, it's not like I wanted to get married at that time. I wanted to get married at that time. It's just I was thinking of like future. I was thinking, if I go to Dundee, will there be potentials in Dundee? Like, because at some point I would want to get married. Like, it's not like I want to delay my marriage for so long. Like, I do want to get married, but not like, I'm not saying I want to get married like now.
But most
there-
people
you
don't
have
even
to-
think like that. Most people don't think like, oh, if I go here, what about like the potential
No,
people
you
I
have to
could
think
get?
about that, Wali, because imagine going into a town with all white people who, if you see one brown person, you're gonna think, oh, is that all
that
I've got?
it?
Yeah. No,
all
you
I
need.
got to
But in
choose from.
London, there are like people from all over the world. Like, you can explore.
They're weird
Like-
in London, man. I can't lie. You're not missing
Really?
out. Yeah, they're all NPCs.
Would you not marry a white person?
Okay, I'm not gonna bait the name out, but there's this white guy. He has a crush on me, and he was like, I would change, like I would actually convert to Islam for me. He's a nice guy, but
Forget God, they'll do it for you.
he's a nice guy.
I can't wait to become Islamic just for you.
No. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. He's a nice guy, and he looked like my type, but I don't know. When I thought about it, I need to think, like So I was like, no. I don't think I'll marry a white person.
Oh man,
Interesting.
mashallah.
I think I'm just it doesn't make me a bad person. Maybe it's just personal preference. Why are you laughing, Khushal?
4 lines.
Yeah, mashallah.
Have you watched 4 lines?
No, I haven't.
You watched 4 lines.
That's
then.
going to be him in a couple of years. No, it's interesting what Khushal said, that the guy won't convert not for God but for you. But
I mean, I would
what do you
have-
think your dad would think?
What my dad would think. I don't think my dad is really like open with, like
what
he
are you?
wouldn't
What
mind.
about your mom then?
Oh, my mom would be like, what is
Slip.
exactly, like what is wrong with you? No, but like obviously, like just because he's white, it doesn't mean he's not a human. Like he's a whole person. He's amazing.
We did.
that was you. No one said that.
She's trying to get us cancelled.
No,
You're trying to get us.
I think I'll get cancelled. Do you think we should put this on? No, I'm not saying anything
This
bad.
is going in.
Am I saying anything bad?
No.
I am mashallah, brother. We accept you. We accept you. We welcome you to Islam.
I would have gotten the reward from Allah for bringing someone to Islam though. So that was free Jannah for me.
That is
Free
true.
ticket to Jannah, like confirmed Jannati.
Yes, why you marry him for good deeds? I did it for good deeds.
No, but Wali, sorry to cut you off, but you need to think in long run. You have to you need to look at compatibility, right?
Yeah.
So you can't be. It's not always love in the air. It's not always the honeymoon phase. You need to think like of your kids, of future as well. So like, you need to look at the compatibility. I think I'll be more compatible with the person, like a Pakistani person than.
Yeah, I think it is really interesting, to be honest, this conversation around like, should you really be marrying people from other cultures or should you stick to your own? Because like, even a lot of the times when people do mixed cultures, when they have children, then the children are very confused. Like neither culture kind of accepts them. Like they don't feel British and they don't feel Pakistani either. So it seems, I don't know, it's such a difficult thing, but you do seem like if someone was to say, oh no, you can't do that, you'd seem like such a bad person.
Yeah, but you need to be wise. Like I didn't let myself get attached to that guy because I knew I'm not gonna marry him. So I'm not wasting his time. So
That's
Very
very
mature.
good. That's a very
Yeah.
mature thing to do. Not
Do
to
do you think it's a good idea to mix cultures like that?
as long as you think you can be compatible with that person.
But do you think you can be compatible?
100% people have done it. People
Yeah.
have white partners and their kids are Muslim or Christians, and people find a way. When you wanna, you need to like then. There's need, bro. I forgot. My English is not English. There needs to be the genuine desire of wanting to find a way. It's a choice. If you're not choosing and then it's not gonna work.
Exactly.
You have to make
It's a
choices.
choice.
It's
Yeah.
literally about choices, and you need to have genuine desire.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it will work.
Yeah, I think it is possible, but I think it's more difficult. Like my great grandmother was Scottish, and she moved from Scotland to Pakistan when she got married to my great grandfather, and it was difficult for the kids, to be honest. Like my grandparents, even in Pakistan, but it did work.
There's studies that show that people from different cultures, slightly different, not too different, those like interracial relationships, they last, like they have lower risk of divorce.
Like
And
Pakistani
I don't know what.
and Bengali.
Oh,
Or like
you even
Pakistani and
Pakistani or
Saudi,
African or like Yemeni,
Arabs,
yeah,
yeah.
like that kind of like of course you need still some common ground,
True.
but apparently I don't know why that would be the case. Is it because
Well,
there's-
the cynical explanation might be is that these people like kind of dissociate themselves from their cultures and maybe even in some cases from their families. So then the only people they have is each other. So then it's much more difficult to separate. But obviously that's quite a cynical way to look at
I need
it.
to look into it because I want to see why that's the case. So I
But
shouldn't be-
what type of culture is it? Is it like people who are raised in Britain their whole life in the same thing, but they have a different heritage, or is it
or
like
black and
literally?
white. Like you
Yeah,
both
but,
English and you sort of like
I don't
English
think those are
different.
really that different cultures, to be honest.
Oh, I don't know. Like still,
They are different. There are differences, but I don't think the differences are that big.
I need to look into the studies. Like
Imagine
what
like a
kind of
Pakistani
participant-
person from the village versus like a TikTok white person.
So face value, it doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah.
I need to look into this thing. But
Where to get all of these examples and questions from? I love your brain, Wali. Like you think like Pakistani person from village and a TikTok white person.
Yeah,
No
just
compatible.
imagine
that
that.
is too crazy.
That
That's
is-
too like again, it doesn't make sense. Like how is that gonna work?
How likely
you-
is that though?
Yeah.
Even like a city boy and a village girl, that's like that's difficult to make
Yeah.
make it work.
But you know what? I
in
don't
a lot
know.
of ways.
If you like someone at the end of the day, you like them. Like
Yeah.
then you know when they say love is blind, it actually is. Like if you actually love someone and if you end up like liking them enough, everything else just become like blurry to you, and then you just see the person because
Should you marry just based on love? Is
if
that
you
enough?
What is love? You gotta ask that.
what is
question.
love?
What
That's a
is
good
love?
question. What is love?
Do you know what constitutes love? Is it just a feeling? Are you just talking about because that feeling is gonna fade?
Yeah.
So love needs to be something bigger than just a feeling of like, oh, like I feel alive with this person.
Or I get butterflies. Love.
Yeah.
There's a difference between love and infatuation.
Mm.
Yeah.
But do you think it is enough? Your definition of whatever love is, do you think that is enough, or do you need something more? Like love in the sense of the feeling.
Okay, I don't know, Wali. If I don't see myself as someone, the thing is, if I end up falling in love with someone, I wouldn't think like I would actually become blind to like all the other factors. Because if I love them, then I'll just go for them. Like you make it work. You don't think if it will work. If you both want each other, you will make it work. Simple.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
it goes to that choice thing. I think it's just a choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think love is enough?
It depends on your definition of love. If your love consists of respect, loyalty, communication, and trust, yes.
Just that feeling
100%.
of love, not the
No, that's not enough.
How do you
That's
know
not
the
enough.
feeling of love? What is the feeling of love?
I
You
don't
know
know.
that magical feeling
you
he's
can't
on
really
about,
explain
it's
it.
But
just
does it
obsession.
last though? Obsession lasts.
It
What
doesn't
if you
last.
jump from one obsession to another?
Exactly.
It
this is
happens
what I
a lot.
mean.
It happens a
but
lot.
You're gonna love a lot of people, but then you have to commit to one.
But not even just an obsession. Like there could be someone that you really, really, truly care about, but you really love them, but you're just not that compatible. Do you think it would be wise to then be like, oh, I should marry this person? Maybe your family doesn't agree with the marriage. Maybe your cultures are a bit different. Maybe they drink alcohol. You don't drink alcohol. So
I would still, if I really, really care about them, and if the energy is same, and if it's reciprocated, I think we can talk and work out like how we're gonna do things together. But I think if I really care about someone, I'll go for them. It doesn't matter if they drink. Like, obviously, there are things we can work out on. I'll discuss it with them. But just because their family does not like me or they drink, I know I'm saying just, but if they really care about me as much as I care about them or even more, then I'm going for them. Obviously, they'll have flaws, but we can work on it. I can't let go of a person who I really care about because they've got flaws. You know, no one is perfect.
Interesting.
They need to be willing to grow.
That's so true.
I think
They need to
that's
be willing to
probably
grow.
the most important thing, because then you can, if they're ever growing right in a good way, then you're just gonna love them more. Otherwise, love fades. If they're gonna be stagnant, so compatibility is only possible when you can grow with the other person. If you can't grow with the other person, it's just not gonna work, man. That
Interesting.
fascination, everything is just gonna die out. You need to, it's like a plant, you need to water it. If you want it to grow, there needs to be effort. Yeah, this is based on like the noob knowledge I have. I think someone like Jay Shetty and these experts, they know this stuff way better than us. But this is what I've learned recently, because I feel like what I've struggled with is so I'm currently listening to this book called How to Not Die Alone, and he talks about the 3 tendencies we have. One is a maximizer, so you look into basically looking for a partner that you're looking for perfection essentially. One's a hesitator, so you hesitate, oh, once I have a job, you know, once I'm like financially secured and I have in X location and I have a 6-pack, you know, I have my dream body, then I'm going to reach out to a partner. And once a romanticizer who's like, oh, they can, you know, I need to meet them in like this beautiful Italian restaurant and, you know, they slip me a note and it's just like happy ever after. So these 3 tendencies are really harmful.
Which
and
one
that's
are
not
you?
love.
I think
I'm a bit of all 3, man. I can't lie.
Which
and
one are you mostly?
I'm a maximizer. I'm extremely choosy and picky. It's really bad. And the thing is, like in the book, like the woman says, like, yo, you can't look for perfection, and plus you're not perfect yourself. So, you know, I need to unlearn this little narcissist in me in order to have a healthy relationship, because you could, even if you're heaven, even you in heaven, you'll be miserable because you could be like, oh, this heaven could be better. So there's no end to that. Like there is no end to that. So these 3 tendencies are holding a lot of people back from healthy relationships.
Which one are you, Nabeeha?
Which one am I? Can I just say, the person with 3rd tendency is definitely going to die alone. Because
Which one?
Um,
The maximizer?
the
Romanticizer?
The romanticizer is definitely going to die alone, because how likely are you going to have like a movie kind of thing? You live in reality. Come on, wake up.
You know what? She's right.
They're all gonna die alone.
Do you know what? Yeah, but especially with the maximizer might cheat and all of these things. They might have some partners. Romanticizers wait too long. They wait till late 30s. They're like, oh, like they look for that person with like beautiful Italian and French accent. Bro, that is so like the woman gives examples in book. Like they're like mid 30s.
Fictional characters written by
approaching
women
40s.
for
They're
women.
like, oh, I'm waiting for love. They're waiting for love. Like it's gonna come to them. The woman's like, no, love ain't coming to you. You need to go and seek it.
See, that's why I was like, I need to see where am I going to go. Because for next 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to-
which
you need to
which
think.
one would you say you are?
So the one was maximizer. What was the second one?
Hesitator.
What's
And
the hesitator?
romanticizer. So you're like, oh, once I have a 6-pack and once I have $1 million in
Once
my bank.
I've graduated, I'm a doctor.
Yes, I'm a doctor.
I've specialized. I'm a cardiologist.
Yeah,
No,
once I've like dealt with my mental health, like you can, it's not.
The maximizer is the perfectionist. He wants the or she wants.
I think
the perfect.
I'm none of that. Like I'm not a hesitant, because I'm not gonna be like, I need to like wait for this to happen. If the person comes and if it's right, you go for it. The third one, romanticizer, no. Even though I love Bollywood movies, I love to romanticize my life. I'm not that stupid to like sit there and wait for love. Like that's just stupid. How dumb you have to be for that. And the maximizer, I don't look for perfection, but obviously there are certain, I don't know. I think I don't look for perfection. I think the people I've liked, they've always been imperfect. I actually don't look for perfection.
But I mean, it's a skill, right? Which
This
one are
is-
you more like?
Maximizer, definitely. If you have to scale it, if I have to, then maximizer.
Yeah.
But definitely not the hesitant. Like I think I should be the hesitant one, because come on, like I need to
You got
do
medicine
things.
degree.
No, not just medicine, Khushal. My studies, my content creation, and the things I want to do, I need to do those things, right? But then the question is, why do we think that our partner is going to like
Hold
hinder
you back,
hold
yeah.
you back? Like, what kind of partner are you gonna go for? Like,
Yeah.
you can still grow together. So there's that argument as well. But definitely not the romanticizer. Like, you know, life is not a movie. Like, you can be happy, romanticize your life. Like, sometimes I just sit in my room. Not in my room, sorry. I'm not that stupid. Like, when I'm traveling in a car, I play music and, like, you know, it feels like enjoy deep life. I romanticize life like that. But romanticizing in that way, that's just too much. Like, come on, wake up, come to reality. Someone needs to shake the romanticizers. Yeah.
Interesting. I think that's a girl thing. I don't think that
Really?
happens as much to boys. So, Nabeeha, you've got a lot of big plans for the future with all this content creation, being a doctor, but how would you want to be remembered?
Such a good question. How would I want to be remembered?
Again, good question. That's two. Put the counter up.
I think two things. I would want to be, this is going to sound cliche, but someone, it doesn't have to be like a big difference, but someone who did make a difference in someone's life. Like people would remember me for something good, like making their life better. And I think I can achieve that through medicine. And I want to do something for Pakistan. Like, I just want to, like, play my part in the betterment of Pakistan. I know the betterment is looking unlikely, but I just want to do something for my country. Like, I'm so passionate about Pakistan. I love Pakistan, and it hurts my heart seeing my country like how it is, because like they like the effort, like the things our ancestors went through to like make this country, and look at the state of the country now. So I would want to do something for Pakistan, definitely.
That's a great answer.
Because even though I don't live in Pakistan, Pakistan lives in me and will forever live in me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's beautiful.
We'll clip that up for you, don't worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great answer, and obviously we have similar goals as well, so it resonates
Inshallah.
a lot. But yeah, thanks a lot for having the conversation
Thank
with
you.
us, Nabeeha. You were on Neanderthals before, but it's been really good to have this more serious conversation with you this time.
With a good balance of laugh as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much.
Thanks for
so much.
watching,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you for watching.